So I'm going to go over the post-assessment here. And here we go. One thing I've noticed that a lot of you don't do is make things easier on yourself. I hope if I do some things differently than you think about them, I really hope that you start playing with some numbers on your own time. Maybe that could be a goal for yourself on that sheet. Like, you're going to play with numbers, you're going to experiment, you're going to have fun with them, you're going to learn how to multiply by 100. You're going to think about all these different strategies that we're doing instead of always just lining up an algorithm and mindlessly going through the calculations. It's really important to be an active thinker and to really think about the problems before you work on them. Here, this first one. So I have 5 times 14 times 2. Well, I know 14 times 2 is 28, and then I could think about it this way, but I also know that 5 times 2 is 10. That makes this problem way easier. 5 times 2 is 10. 10 times 14 is 140. B. Hey, look at that. 7, 2, 5. 5, 14, 2. 7 is half of 14, and 2 and 5 are the same, so this answer is just going to be 70. Here, this one's a little bit more difficult. I don't know of an easy way to do this stuff, so I am going to write things down. So I have 30 plus 12, 24, plus 4 times 5 is 20, times 2 is 40. And then adding these together, so 40 plus 7, 30. So see, I usually make things easier on myself. So if I did 40 plus 24 plus 30, that might make a stumble block, but I could go 40 plus 30 is 70, plus 24 is 94. And this one's a little bit bigger. If I look at 50, I know 50 is half of 100. I'm awesome at my halves, and I'm awesome at multiplying by 100, because that is, you're multiplying by 10 twice. So we're pushing this number down 2 spots. So instead of, if I look at this as 100 times 56, that's 5,600, and then half of that is 2,800. And then I'm going to take away 156, or one group of 56, and that's going to give me, I know my kind of my hundreds there. So what is that? 44. So 2,744. All right, fill in the blanks to make each set of equations true. So if I look here, I see 12 is 24 halved, so I'm going to be looking for the half of 18 over here. So 9 times 24 is the same thing as 18 times 12. What could be a way I could do this? Well, I know 12 times 8 is 96, and 12 times 10 is 120. So that would be 120 plus 96, which is 216. Is that right? That seems right. That seems right. All right, 47 times 98. An easier way to think about that is 100 times 47 minus 2 groups of 47. So I know 100 times 47 is 4,700. And 2 groups of 47 is 94. So that's going to give me 4,606. Because again, I know my to hundreds. It's really important to know my groupings to 100. So I know that 94 plus 6 is 100. So that's going to help me anytime I'm starting with 100. Okay. Fill in the missing number in the equation, then describe. Some of you aren't describing. Some of you just write an answer down. So here it's that half and double relationship. So I see 16 and 8. This relationship is half, so I know I'm going to have to double 180. Some of you halved it twice. 8 times 90 could no way equal 16 times 8, 180. And some of you are struggling with this concept of equal expressions. This is just saying that 180 times 16 is the exact same thing as 8 times 360, which is the exact same things as 4 times 720. It's understanding that having that number sense and understanding that those two things are equal. And so describing over here something about that double and halving. Here, again, you needed to talk about each one. So I'm not going to necessarily tell you what you should be describing. I will tell you, though, that 67 times 18 is the same thing as 67 times 20 minus 2 groups. That is true. Here, 39 times 13. 39 is not equal to 39 times 13 plus another 13. That doesn't make much sense. And here, 2 times 5 times 4 is the same thing as 2 times 5 times 4. So look into that. Here, a lot of you are having trouble with this double and half when it comes to writing an expression. So all this is saying is 16 times 15 is the same thing as, well, I could do 32 times 7.5, I guess, or it's the same thing as 8 times 30. All right, here to find 27 times 9, it's the same thing as up here, except I'm subtracting 1. So a lot of times we can just use the assessment to help us out too. So it's saying 27 times 10. So here, 27 times 9 is the same thing as 27 times 10 with my parentheses minus 27 times 1. So I don't have to do anything. I don't have to do any calculations. Same thing down here. People were calculating. It says to find the volume of a box that has 19 by 22 base and 27 layers. I multiply the dimensions of the base first and then multiply it by the number of layers. So the base is 19 by 22 and the layers are 27. However, it does say this, base first. So since it's saying that, I do need to honor that and put parentheses. So some of you are struggling with parentheses, so that might be something that you're going to need to study and focus on. Sorry I'm going so fast, but we have an evacuation drill here momentarily, and I want to make sure I get this done and uploaded before then. So write and solve an equation to represent each statement below. To find 36 times 25, I double and halve. So again, 36 times 25 is the same thing as 18 times 50. Which, if I do that again, about 18 times 100 is 1,800 divided by 2 is 900. And here to find 15 times 10, I multiply, so 15, sorry, times 27. I multiply 10 times 27, and then add it to 5 times 27. So that's going to give me 270 plus, and again, 5 is half of 10. So I just need to know half of 270, which is 135. And then I add those two things together to give me, what, 405? Okay, here I'm just counting the width, the length, to give myself the base, 1, 2, 3, 4 by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then I'm multiplying that by the height, 1, 2, 3. And that's going to give me 4 times 6 is 24, times 3 is 72. And equation for numbers, they give us the numbers here, so it's the base and the width, or the base, which is length times width. Ooh, that's 6 times 6. And then the height is 3. So that would be 36 times 3, which is what? 30 times 3 is 90, and 6 times 3 is 18, so that's going to be 108. See how I made that easier on myself? 36 times 3 is the same thing as 30 times 3 plus 6 times 3. Which is 90 plus 18, which is 108. All right, last one. Riley counted the number of balls on one layer of a box. He had 34. The box has 8 layers. How many balls can the box hold? Show all your work. So I could look at it like this. All right. It can hold 34. So what would that be? Well, what are two factors of 34? 17 and 2, I guess. 2 and 17. And then how many layers can it hold? 8. All right, so I'm going to look at 8 and 2 and 17. So I do know that this is 34 times 8 because they already did the work for me. So how do I make that easier on myself? 30 times 80 equals 240. 4 times 8 equals 32. So that gives me 272 what? Baseballs. So some of you do not like writing the actual thing that you need to go. Whenever we do word problems, you have to have a unit. You have to have a unit. All right, fill out your reflection and then turn all this stuff back into me. All right, see ya.